So we're here today with Blessing Achu, the founder of 360 Creative Hub. Thank you so much for making the time, Blessing.
Thank you for coming to see me. I'm delighted.
Thank you. Blessing, what does 360 Creative Hub do?
Okay, so we have three mandates. We have provide co-working space for fashion designers that we call co-sewing, provide business fashion business service to bring together young designers to learn from professionals in the same field, and we run an accelerator that helps young designers to understand the business of fashion and using technology, understanding how technology can impact their business and how to grow a sustainable fashion business. That is the three things that we do.
Wow. How did you come up with this idea?
So, for the first time, I went to a startup bus in Europe. I participated in that, and we went to 7 European nations, and we got to visit some ecosystem that play in the startup sense. So I got to hear a lady pitch that she woke up from a co-working space that helps them, the designers. So I got excited and I said, how? So she went through to tell me how technology has been able to improve, that in their co-work space they have a 3D measurement. People can easily come in and take measurement and their clothes are made. They're trying to reduce sustainability, reduce sewing, basically maybe mass market. They want to do into ethical fashion and all that. And I said, wow, this is what we do in Nigeria, right? But we don't have like that ecosystem building and helping young designers grow and all that. Mm-hmm. So I came back and I decided to play with the idea. I did like a research online. I didn't find anything like that in Nigeria, and I just saw co-working spaces for different tech ecosystem, but nothing for the creatives. And I said, okay, challenging. I didn't talk to much people. I only talked to a few number of people to get their idea in the fashion system. And they told me it won't work. People will come and steal your ideas and all that. But when I talked to them, I said, do you think somebody will sit down to watch what you do? And they told, that means the other person doesn't need creativity. And what do you think happens to H&M and Zara? The same thing you see in Zara, you see in H&M. Doesn't mean that two of them don't sell, they sell.
Yeah.
So I decided to go about this, and I emptied my investments and I started the business.
Wow, okay. So let me go one step back. What brought you to this bus in Europe where you checked out the different ecosystems? How did you come to do that?
So while I was working, I already know that, during my university days, I used to be in the north and I school in the east. Mm-hmm. And I used to make clothing from the north, buy and sell in the east because it's different versions. So I was able to combine the two and make so. So while I was working, I know that I want to run my business. Mm-hmm. I already know I want to run, but what to do, I don't. So I went for Ampion Venture Bus run by a German guy, Fabian, with Ifeanyi, a Nigerian. So I was selected and we went to 7 African countries. We pitched and I didn't win. So I got to know that there's a boss that can do that. So when the European one opened, they just sent me a random email that there's boss that will be leaving from UK to meet in Cologne, and there's one that will be leaving from Switzerland, Germany to meet in Cologne, like that. So I applied for the UK boss and I didn't get visa. So they routed me through Germany. So Germany bus has left Germany. I had to meet them in Switzerland. So I entered Germany and I used the bus to get to Switzerland and join the bus.
Catch up. So were you already working in fashion, or what was your job?
I was working as a business development person in an IT firm. So I already know what IT can do. I have knowledge of where the world is going with IT connectivity, broadband development. I started with IT all my life. I graduated from school, I sold software. So ERP like Sage, all those kind of software, I sold it as a salesperson. So I upgraded to technical sales in communication. I was developing, helping people connect their branches, deploying internet and all. So I already know I had access to internet. So I was reading. My problem is having so much information and not be so. I had to now say, okay, I already know what IT and technology can do in every space of the economy, but I didn't know how to apply them. So, but when I went for this venture bus, I got to understand that a lot is going on in the Western world and we are not doing anything. I got to understand that there's fashion technology, that Apple has made a phone, a wristwatch that can control maybe something. Somebody has made a clothes that can control your temperature and all that. So a lot has started happening, but out here we don't have those information.
Yeah.
We are still cutting, sewing, and people don't understand. Somebody told me in Zara that I was reading up, they said that they use analytics to understand where the location, and it determines where they can set up their factory, who they are going to manufacture and all that. I mean, they are doing so much with information they have, but what are we doing?
So it's basically looking at data, because fashion is also treated as a business.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay, so you have the IT side, you have an interest in fashion because you're already being as a side hustle, I assume, in the business of buying and selling fashion. Then and then you have this idea to combine that into a space because you saw it in Europe.
Yeah. So another thing that drives me is this. So if you look at the fashion scene in Lagos, you see that you hear a certain number of names. These are the people you keep hearing. Every fashion event, they are there. But we have these young, talented people that are struggling at the background, and they know what they are doing, but they don't get that media exposure. So why? So I had to answer that question. I said, because they are doing so much, they are the one doing they're artistic, they are the one, but they don't know how to make money. They don't even know how to run a business. So how do you now take that person to say, okay, run this business, be a creative person, but make money from it, and have a PR, have a marketing, know how to use Instagram. It's all abroad. It's not like that. As a fashion designer, you have a support system that work with you, but here is the fashion designer that does the cutting, works with the tailor, do the fitting, do the marketing, and so it's making them like stunted. They don't grow.
Yeah.
So I decided to say, okay, why don't I train them to understand that you can run a business of fashion and make money? Then tell them about the value chain in fashion business, that you don't necessarily need to be a fashion designer by maybe but you can be like a designer that can sell your design to maybe another designer to produce, and you make money from it. And you can be like an agent, fashion agent, to buy and go to retail stores. A lot of things happening in the value chain, but everybody just at that place.
Yeah.
So the fashion acceleration is to open their mind to the potential possibility of the ecosystem and the value chain that where they can still make money and still grow. So can they help a designer do a PR? Do we have a fashion PR?
Yeah.
That means it's money.
Yeah.
So because you understand what is fashion and you have gone to school, do you need to sew? Why don't you do like a fashion PR for other fashion designers and make money from it? We have fashion stylists. So.
Yeah. So really, you're doing actually an education for young people that come from the field around all the possibilities that are in the field that they might have never heard about.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your first step to create 360 Creative Hub?
My first step was I just read online, how to set up a co-working space. But because my niche is different, I know already I need to buy sewing machines and all that. So I decided to, first of all, get to do research online. How much sewing machine goes for, what are the things they need and all that. I made some mistake while doing it because I was in Berlin, so I bought some machines. not knowing that they don't know how to use those machines here. So I had to sell those machines at a discounted rate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because the designers that we have don't know how to make it. So, and I bought those machines without knowing, okay, how many people can use. I just used my initiative to say, okay, let me buy these machines. So I bought the machines, I rented the place, I set it up the way you are seeing it. I never consulted anybody. I mean, the only consult I have was my internet, and which is one of the things that is lacking here in Nigeria. If I had had somebody like a support system, a mentor that would tell me, okay, why don't you start doing marketing like what you taught, bootstrap, market it to people. How many people want to use those machines? Can they do like a down payment to say, okay, when this thing is ready, I want to come and use it. And when I pay this amount, I should be able to like say, okay, get 5 months instead if you pay for 3 months. I never did that.
Yeah.
So that was like a lesson for me. So that was all I just emptied my account, start up this stuff. And now after starting off, that's when I now start thinking about markets.
Yeah. So you took all the savings that you had, essentially, put it all in the business. You made some mistakes that cost you money.
Yeah.
And now you're like, okay, I'm running out of money.
Yeah.
Now I have to make this thing work and make it work fast.
Yes.
So how do I market it?
So how do I market it is still the question I keep asking, because you know the concept is new in Nigeria, and typically every young designer wants okay, so what do I need to do? Do I just come? You know, we have get that question. So I just pay this and I have machine, I have this. What if this happens? So a lot of what if and all that. So the marketing has to be continuous education. Mm-hmm. So that's why my mentor Sonia told me, why don't I start that fashion business series and accelerators? Because when you take them, it's a long process, but when you take them from teaching them, changing their mindset to not taking their money to buy machines, but take that money for marketing and rent a space that, you know, lean startup on a shoestring. Tell them that, no, don't put your money in buying equipment. Put your money in getting customers that will buy some sample that you made before you made those samples. So, or while you are making those samples. So before your money runs out, you're already making money. So that is why I started the fashion business series and the fashion acceleration. So I can tell them, I can teach them from my own mistake and from the knowledge I got. Because I can never forget running bootstrapping on a shoestring. It's one of the game changer for me, and I want to make every entrepreneur that comes through my hub close to me to understand that you don't need to spend money, but you let your customer, identify your customers, be able to make them commit to you, build that loyalty in them to commit money before you start spending money.
Yeah. And I mean, you had this, you're now walking the talk.
Yeah.
And you share from experience that this is, that this makes more business sense.
Yeah.
I'd really like to share that you say, well, I don't just offer the space, because then all the questions comes, the what ifs, how does this work? Mm-hmm. But you say, okay, let me actually solve their real need. And their real need is, how do I become a professional? How can I make an income from what I've learned and what I love?
Yes.
And then you change their mindset so that they are also enabled to use your space in a way that makes sense.
Yes.
Wow. That's great stuff.
Thank you.
How many young people have graduated so far from this accelerator?
We started last year, 2018. Mm-hmm. So we did, so far we've been able to graduate about 30 people. Mm-hmm. And 5 of them are working from the hub. Okay. So we have like a mix. We bring people from every part of Lagos because we need ambassadors that will go out and make us proud. Mm-hmm. So we do the value chain. So you are in the necklace, and we don't have stuff for necklace, but you still come and learn. Mm-hmm. We don't have for shoe, come and learn, and all that, bags and all that, and fashion in itself. So it's like building that ecosystem to make people understand, okay, you are better off working together than working separately. Yeah. That community, because that is what we lack, especially in Africa. We are not talking to ourselves. if we can talk more to ourselves, we find out that we can do much more. But because we are not talking to us, everybody is just on their own. So I'm trying to bring those young, vibrant people that we have in Nigeria to come together and learn together. So, and when they learn together, wonderful things happen. We have about 5 of them working from the hub, and they have gone to do bigger things. The lady that came here to do your measurement is one of the accelerators of last year. So she did her maths and said, no, I don't need to buy a machine. I need to just sew and use my money for marketing. So that is how it has been. So we have other people that came to understand the idea and they are using the space. So currently we have about 20 physical members that come, not every day, but in between each other. And we have like a virtual community of about 1,000 people.
Wow. And do these young people already start collaborating with each other?
Yeah. So we have a stylist, and a stylist comes to the hub to pick from these designers their collection, to style their television guests and all that. So when they do that, they give credit to the designer. The designer reposts it and sells those collections. So it's like interwoven business making. So we have somebody there's a PR person. When he does content, he interviews, he goes to take pictures of all the things that they have done and use it for our own content and our own blog, making people to go to those blogs. So it's
a lot of mutual interest. And I think that's quite crucial to point out, because as you rightly say, if you think you're in competition with everyone, it limits your possibilities. But if you think, okay, how can I be of others, of benefit to others in the same space even, then you will unearth so many opportunities, possibilities. Yeah. What is your idea for growing the space? I mean, now you have basically this first hub here. It's working out from what you shared. How do you want to go forward?
So our growth plan is to have a bigger space that has like samples of all the value chains. So we have where you can make bag in the hub, where you can make your necklace, like that. That will be my growth plan. Having multiple hubs, like 4 hubs for a start across the country: Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Aba. So these are the locations I need my expansion plan, and to work with partners across African countries, because African fashion is the next thing. So how do we make each other? How do Nigerian fashion rip up on a Kenya, for instance? How do we get Kenyans to buy Nigerian, and how do Nigerians buy Kenya? My next, by 2025, I hope to have go to maybe Ghana. I already have some partnership in Ghana where they sell Nigerian brands. So, but be able to have like a hub where you can go and say, okay, young brands that are doing wonderful things, go to South Africa, Kenya, and all those, major hubs where African fashion is vibrant and where people can access them. So it's one thing to have fashion created, but it's ability for you to access those people that are not known, the unknown heroes, people that are doing wonderful things. How do you access them? Can you bring that community where you can go and say, okay, all the people that are doing wonderful things are in the community, and you go there, you'll be amazed at the kind of thing that come out. So, and looking at where the world is going, people are tired of wearing the black, white stuff. People want to feel cool, want to feel Africa, and we are here. So.
Yeah. I mean, maybe just for me and for us to understand, what does the industry look like in terms of, the fashion industry in Africa? How much is being imported? How much is maybe exported to the diaspora? Do you know?
From the research I've done recently, it's much more of imports, because of what we are being told. You have to wear a name brand from there for you to look classy. So making it hard for the young ones to sell their brands. So, and the export part is only for Nigerians or Africans in diaspora that want to see where African brand, where they are. So, but making it like a homestay in terms of Nigeria, walking to a boutique and you see arrays of different local brands in a boutique, it has not happened. But that is where we are going. We'll get there someday.
Yeah, I think, I mean, that's a very crucial enabler for all these young fashion designers to also have distribution channels, right? I mean, of course, nowadays you have the online channels and all this. A hub like yours where people can come in, take measurements and things like this as well. But yeah, even mainstream like malls, boutiques,
boutiques
and all that. Blessing, because you started out as an IT professional, essentially.
Yeah.
What did your parents, family, friends, what did they say when you said, hey, let me quit this, let me put all my money into sewing machines, you know, and let's rock it?
So my husband was looking at me weird, like, what are you doing?
Where's our money going?
Where's that money? What do you mean? How can you say? You know? So, but I was trying to give him some confidence, you know, it will be fine. But up to now, it's not fine. So financially, we are still struggling because I used to contribute a reasonable amount of money to the family. But now I can't. And I had to go to him for so many, and at times he would flip at me as well. You know, but we are getting by. So it wasn't an easy. My mom couldn't understand why I had to leave a paid job that is paying me very well as at when I was working. I have a car, a very comfortable car. I was having like, I can travel abroad for holidays. You know, those things that you think you can do because you have money.
Yeah.
But when I told them I can't, I want to do this. Even my daughter, mommy, if not taking me, I'm not going for a holiday. But she won't understand what I'm going through. But I try as much as possible to explain to her that, yes, we'll go for holiday, we'll go for all that, but just give your mommy some time so that we can put our house together. For 2 years, she has not gone for summer. This is summer, and she just keep telling me, this. And whenever I want to travel, I feel good because I can't afford to take all of them. But
do you regret it?
No, because it's painful at the start, but I know it's going to pay off someday. So, and this is what I tell every entrepreneur, that there's a growth stage. When you are building something, I don't expect magic to happen. I expect to go through this process, and I'm going through it. I can tell you now that I am seeing a brighter future because I've started getting attention. I've started getting people to come to talk last week. How can we work together? What do you think? You know, it might not have happened, but it shows that, yes, you are doing something right. So for every entrepreneur out there, there is always that dark moment. There is that time of self-doubt, lack of confidence, you know, but ability to hold on and hold tight will make the game changer. So
yeah, I love that. Thank you for pointing that out, and the honesty, because it's not often talked about. Right? We talk a lot about the successes and of course what works, but let me say 90% of the game is the inner game of, right, how do you handle expectations, family, partners, how all that works out. Where, you know, because we were sharing about holding on, where do you take comfort from or courage from, you know, when you most need it? How do you
so do that? My personal space has been my mom. My mom, I share this, what will I call it? I don't know how she knows that my daughter is going through some stress. And before you know it, she will call and she will ask. And she will say, I know you, tell me what is going on. You know? And I don't know if I should say this, but for the fact that I'm still married, I'm in marriage and I'm serving is because of her. Because there is a time you say, I want to give it up. I just want to go, like, get out of here and run away somewhere, my phone will ring and who is calling? It's my mom. And I would say, wow. So when got talking, she would give me like on counseling, she would talk to me, those things that you needed to hear to make sure that things are very going well. My husband at times will not understand because he doesn't show emotion. He doesn't know how to show emotion, but he will just tell you. The way he even tell you, okay, it's fine. You won't get, but when you look at his actions, but he doesn't know how to say it. But my mom will say those things that I needed to hear. And she will still tell me, I don't know what your business is all about, but I know that whatever it is that you keep doing, and you keep doing it very well and be good at it, that someday, sometime, the light will shine on you. That God will remember you. And when she keep telling me that, and I will say, when, Mama, when? She said, just don't worry. It won't know, but somebody is paying attention. Don't give up. So that has been like one of the things. And I have a crazy friend. She sells car. She's one of the people that sells car. In her office is close by. When I wanted to give up, like she would tell, come, let's go we'll just go drink up and, just relax and, just give ourselves some encouraging words. Yeah. The moment we'll go to a party, drink, go to clubs. Oh, I was okay. Let me go home and sleep.
Are there any stories of the people that have gone through your program, that inspire you or make you smile or that you want to share?
So there is this particular lady. Earlier this year, she came inside my office and said, what they call me, I won't call it on the camera. I'm tired. I want to just die. I want to do this. How can I be doing everything? Just imagine I'm doing this, nothing is working out. I will do myself. I said, I just called her. I said, sit down. She sat down where you are sitting. I said, what do you want to drink? She told me. I brought out a very good wine. I poured on a cup. I said, let's sit. Let's just talk. So she was drinking the wine. She was just telling me what she was going through and all that. And I told her that, let me tell you why. You are a very pretty lady. Do you think so many people are not going through what you are going? Let me tell you my own story. I started sharing my stories. I told her about another person that has gone through that stuff. They say, wow. I said, yes. You are not just in this alone. There are so many people that are going. It's just that when you go to Instagram, you see the flashy life. You see on Facebook how they are smiling. But you don't know that they are going through worse than you think you are doing. Look at it, you don't have this, but you have this. You don't have this, but you have this. Do you know that so many people don't even have what you have? So I had to start talking some sense into her. And she said, okay. She wanted to say she wants to kill herself. She said, I can't kill her. I'm so... And she went back, came back with the strategy because we went through a strategy that she wants to deploy. I said, why don't you look at this strategy? Let's look at it very well. She went back, wrote some things, came back, we discussed the strategy. I'm very proud to say she's now selling and she's now working on the strategy. And she's doing much more than I thought. In fact, I'm surprised at her progress. Somebody that can sell a piece of shirt for 10,000 in Nigeria and she's selling like minimum of like 10 per day. That's 100,000 every day. This somebody that like is for a woman in Nigeria to do business, you need to be 10 times stronger. Because it is not that environmental friendly for women to succeed. So we have cultural background to battle with. We have conformity. You need to understand that there's some level where you want to go. Your husband might not agree. If you are single, what will people say? A lot of barriers. But if you can walk and cross those barriers and be able to say, okay, I must do this no matter what. The sky is your limit. The sky is your limit.
I love that. And two things that come to my mind while you were sharing. The first is that, well, we see these flashy images on Instagram, but we don't know what's behind that. Yeah. And I think, when you said just showing up again, I think sometimes we cannot even make things happen. Like as your mom said, people notice you and just stay with it. Just showing up, and you don't know who's on that next phone call, who requests a meeting. So it's not something that's entirely in our control, although we would love to. So you don't know how far or how close you are to the next breakthrough that you wish for yourself, right? And then the second thing that comes to my mind is that your success in your business is not just about your numbers, but it is so much about how you help other young people in this field psychologically, with their business, and all these other things.
For me, success for me is I say I want to be able to stock 50 Nigerian brand across 50 stores globally in 2025.
Wow.
So I want to be that woman that's okay. Because I learned one thing during my empath journey. When you solve a problem, you make money. So if you look at making money, you are not solving a problem, you won't make money. But look at how can you meet the pain point. So if I'm going to help young designers sell in stores abroad, and they are proud to say, I am stocking in this place, I'm stocking in this place, I'm stocking, and I make those smiles on their face as they're proud. I mean, I am very rich, even when I don't have money, because they will come tomorrow and say, I made such an amount of money from this store, take this. I was able to get somebody to go for a particular show, and the show the person went for was very successful, a trade show. Came back, she was very smiling. She came back and gave me like some of the things I didn't believe. She gave me money, she gave me clothes. So now I don't buy clothes. I practically don't buy any clothes. Everything I'm wearing is given by designers. I don't buy any clothes. I don't spend money. So it goes beyond just making money. It has to be how many lives have you changed. Because when you empower one designer, you empowered at least 5 or 6 people down the line. Look at a designer that is making one clothes. He needs a tailor. He needs a pattern maker. He needs maybe somebody to manage their social media handle if he grows. He needs, so you are giving employment to about 6 people in the value chain if one designer does well. So I look beyond money, fulfilling my calling to impact lives, to change the narrative of African fashion. It's one of the things. So if I don't have money, but I could do that, and when I die, people can remember, this woman. I mean, I'm done. I'm okay.
Blessing, there's one thing that you mentioned when I was here in Lagos last year, I think. You said, Thomas, people always, or many young people in Africa, they want to move to Europe, but I want my ideas to move all around the world. Yeah. I can be here in Lagos, but I can move all around the world with my ideas.
Yeah.
Remember that. I love that.
Thank you. So the thing is, let's export our clothing, our ideas, but not our body, not our minds, not going through the sea to go to Europe. I believe if we can build an ecosystem that can come, you can sell anywhere, any part of the world. You don't need to go to the Europe, because here we have everything that you see. You can agree with me, any type of life you want to live. The only thing is that when our economy has grown, the governments come to listen to us, because we now make them to say, okay, this is what we want the government to look at, and they do that. So our ideas have to travel the world, and we'll do that by sticking at it, trying our best, and hopeful that one day it will happen. But whether it will happen, I'm very, very certain it will happen. Africa is going to be the best place. Yes.
Blessing, if you could partner with anybody and you could ask them for anything, who would you partner with and what would you ask them for?
I want to work with Zara. Mm-hmm. Why Zara? Because I want them to come in. They have built that ecosystem in Spain, Barcelona. So I want to partner with them to say if they want to think of working with any African brand, they should know like there's a cluster or a place where they can come and they have varieties of fashion designers that can make their business grow. So I want to partner with them to get their knowledge, their thinking, so that we can be able to use their knowledge to grow our own ecosystem and be better off. Because our market, we have a huge number of youths in Nigeria. Like, it's exploding. If we can get youths to get engaged and give them like a very wonderful environment where they can pour out everything they have, you'll be amazed. I have been here and when somebody will come and everything that you see they make, nobody will say, this is nice. Imagine if they give those people, those young people, they require skills, they require knowledge, require the environment to still make those things in a very comfortable environment. We are going to go places. So Zara, for their knowledge, for their structure, for their, capacity building and all that. So.
Wow. I hope that someone from Zara hears this and comes over to Lagos and checks it out and partners with you.
Yeah.
Blessing, what's your take on making African wear very commonplace, very affordable, and like mass production? Because like me growing up, like wearing Ankara print was like a statement, you know? It's like I would see my mom wearing it or like on special, like at a wedding, to go to church or whatever. And we're more used to wearing like t-shirts on a day-to-day and like jeans on a day-to-day or whatever. But do you think that it's possible, or could this be an aspiration that you have, like you mentioned, to have like 50 brands in one shop? Because I was just sitting here and picturing like a Zara, but like if Zara does come here, they don't come here to sell whatever they're selling in Spain. They come here and it's full of fun African wear. And what's your take on that?
So, for us in Nigeria, we have our local clothes. We have Akwete, we have Akwasha, we have local George, we have our own Adire, have our own batik and all that. So, but because of the way the Westerners has been able to make us think, they gave us colors. Even the Ankara that we wear is not made by us.
Wow.
Yes, Ankara that you see is made by Hollandians, Netherlands company and all that, and some in Germany. So, making it not accessible, expensive and all that.
Yeah.
So, but if we start looking at our own color, hand-dyed fabric, we have cotton, we have all those colors, and we start making it accessible and making it affordable and all that, and creating designs with it, it's not difficult. You can see some of the things, if you go downstairs, see some of the things that were made by these young people with creating just normal, something that is like an everyday thing. So it's making it accessible. That's just making our Ankara, our local fabric, accessible by building that ecosystem, making sure that those that are working in the color dye and dye are given the right background to do those things at a minimal fee, so that I can go to the market and be able to buy it and come and sew. So because when you get Adire in the market, it's very expensive.
It is.
So it just boils down to how do we encourage youth to get involved in those things? How do we make sure that those people that are working there are being compensated so that they can see it as a very lucrative job? And how do we break down cost of infrastructure so that everything doesn't go to the fabric and making it too expensive to buy?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Blessing, a final question. What would be your advice to a young person in Nigeria today?
My advice is that there is this craze for money. Yahoo, fast money, Instagram fame. Not all that glitters are good. look beyond having money. I advise every young person to what makes you happy. Try and gain a skill or look for something that makes you happy and use it to make money. Don't be in a haste to make money, because when you are in a haste to make money, you'll be in a haste to spend it, and when you are in a haste to spend it, you can meet your father. So just take things easy. Let's be happy while you are doing what you love, and money will come.
Thank you so much for sharing, Blessing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.